like you're supposed to have it all together, but inside you're wondering how everyone else makes it look so easy, you're not alone. This is Southern Sisters, a place for women who want to grow without the guilt, find purpose in the messy middle, and be reminded that you were made for more. Make sure you stick around. We always save the bloopers for the end. Welcome to our 40th episode of Southern Sisters. We are so glad you're here. I was thinking about that when we were driving today, and I just thought, this is insane.
That's a lot of episodes.
It's a lot of episodes, and we only started this in January.
I was thinking, I'm like, we haven't done a Christmas episode, have we? It feels like we've been doing this forever.
No, I was like,
haven't.
wait, when is our 1 year mark?
Yeah, January.
It'd be January.
That's
6th.
crazy.
Crazy.
Thanks for still listening to us.
We really appreciate it. Oh my goodness, it's amazing. Okay, so for our icebreaker question today, we are going to ask, what's the most ridiculous thing you've ever tried to be thankful for just to stay positive? Could be a toddler's tantrum or something that built character. So when I was thinking about this icebreaker, when I came home from college, I had been out at a different school for a year and a half. I transferred back to U of M because I'm a Southern girl and I miss my Southern people. And so I was like, I came home and I got a job working for my parents, and I got enrolled down at the University of Memphis and lived at home, but I didn't have anything to drive. And so my dad let me drive an industrial carpet cleaning van for 4 months until I got my car, which I bought myself. And I remember being so embarrassed, like when I'd go down to the university, because it had a giant like Kim Dry carpet cleaning logo on it.
It had like the man.
Yes.
The yellow guy
the
with
yellow
the face
guy on
and
the
the
side.
bubbles.
And the back was totally empty, but it had one of those like those grates. Like it looked like it was one of the metal things that divide the front from the back.
Yeah.
And so it just had 2 bucket seats at the front, and
it rattled.
Yeah, it rattled real bad. And I remember I would be going somewhere, and like I was on the board at church with the single adults, and they'd be like, "Can you give so and so a ride?" And I'd be like, "I'm in
a huge van, but only one seat. Yeah.
I go pick up that one friend. I'm like, "You'll know that I pull up. I'm in the van." And it was super embarrassing, but every time I thought about it, I was like, "This is building character."
That's hilarious.
Probably thankful that I'm a stay-at-home mom, even though sometimes I feel like I'm living the same day every day.
Like Groundhog Day.
I've got it.
Yep.
I'm
Groundhog
so
Day.
thankful for how many people call me to do business.
True.
Right?
Like I'm so thankful for all the people coming my way that need help. And then sometimes I'm like, but why? Why me? My new salesperson was like, we need to grow. And I was like, no. Just 2 grows. 3 is just too much. Like I can't. Like
That pushes me over the edge.
But I say all the time, I'm like, oh my gosh, we have to do this and go do this and go do this. And then I catch myself and I'm like, but we're so grateful. So thankful.
Yeah.
Like it's so
Kim
hard
and
to
I-
remember that whenever it's so hard. Things are so overwhelming and it's so hard to remember, like, no, big picture, I prayed for this.
Yeah.
You know?
Kim and I have talked about that several times when we're at an event and we're like, we're such brats. We're like, we don't want to go. We're so tired. We've been gone for so long. And we're like at this beautiful beach, stunning view. And we're like, golly, we're such brats. We like wished for this for so long. That is totally a moment where
Another
I'm like,
ride.
we really are grateful.
Another ride.
I don't want, like literally, we were like, oh man, we've been to Universal like so many times. We're so tired. We've been out of town so much. And we're like, suck it up, you little brat. We know we're bratty, but we are still so grateful for opportunities. That's exactly right. That's a great question, Megan.
Yep.
Awesome. All right. So we have our sister segment, but before we jump into that, our episode sponsor for today is Wealth and Health Benefits Plus. Do you know what season it is? It's time to update your insurance season. Courtney and her amazing team at Wealth and Health Benefits Plus are ready and waiting for your call so that they can help you figure out the best insurance options for you and your family. As a personal customer, they have been amazing at helping me narrow down my choices and decide the best fit for our family. They are super helpful at tax time when you need to provide documentation to your accountant. I know, because I Did that last week. Give them a call at 901-258-5977. The link will be in our show notes.
Quick question, Courtney. Can you help people all over the United States or just here?
Just 25 states out of
Dang, that's a lot.
however many there are now.
50, nifty.
I don't know. They've added things.
So you can help in half the states?
Yeah, half
Okay.
the states. Yeah, all the cool ones.
Okay.
So if you're
Is
in a
that
cool
on your
state-
website? You can tell?
Yeah,
And you can help.
It's on my
That's
Facebook
awesome.
page too. Which
Sweet.
states were?
That's amazing. Their
That's
team
awesome.
is really quick. They're fantastic. Like, it's to the point now, we've been a customer for a few years, so she has all of our information, and she's just like, hey, this is the plan that is most similar to what you had this year. Would you like to do it again? It's $20 cheaper every month. And I'm like, yes, please sign me up. She's like, done. Sign the papers when you get them. I'm like, yeah.
Yeah. We need to do
Insurance
it.
is meant to be
Yes.
easy.
It's true.
It
well,
is so good.
And you said the other day, I was watching your video, you were talking about how they just, if you stay in the same plan, they just make it go up and up and up every year unless you reshop it.
Mine almost tripled for next year.
That's so dumb.
They just came out with all the new plans.
So many
and it's-
people are just, their plans are
the
going up and
plans
they're
suck.
just staying.
And this is the government shutdown. So this
Yeah.
is like what one of the things they're arguing about is the subsidies that people get to pay for their health insurance.
so we need to talk because ours needs to change. So
the
put me on
plans
your
are
list.
the plans are horrible,
Yeah.
and if people don't get help, it's gonna be bad.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So for our sister segment today, we are going to do rapid fire 20 questions for a sister. And that sister today is going to be Lindsay. All right.
Lindsay Bubba Blank.
Lindsay Bubba Blaine in the house. Okay. So what is
I just got these like a couple minutes ago,
know,
so go
you're
ahead.
fine.
I'll try my best.
what's your favorite dirty soda?
Diet Coke with Pebble Ice, of course, with cherry flavor and with real cherries. And if you only put one real cherry and I paid for extra cherries, you're going to be on my list. So give me like 3. Do you remember one time when I worked at Sonic and was that your drink?
Not one time, all times when you worked at Sonic. Lindsay would make me a drink and she'd put like 20 cherries in the bottle.
Sorry, she actually keeps a jar of maraschino cherries in her car.
That and olives.
Not anymore, but I used to love it.
She loves her cherries like she loves her olives.
Like her olives. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
This is not rapid fire. Early bird, night out.
Oh, night out for sure.
Yeah.
Go to comfort food.
I don't know. I'd say I love everything fruit right now, but favorite food would be crab legs.
Last thing that made you laugh until you cried.
I was Marco Poloing Courtney right after this happened. Adam, so dumb.
Unicorn moment for Adam. I
No,
saw
this
it.
is
I
golden
saw him
hour.
in his golden hour on Marco Polo. I have it. If you want to see
He
it.
was okay. So the other night, right before bed, he always does something weird to like be dumb or goofy, and it like always makes me laugh. But this time, he thought he was being really funny, and I had my phone on because I was checking to see my calendar for the next day, but all the lights were out. I didn't know that he was coming in the dark. I didn't hear him, but he like snuck up behind my phone and was like, "Bah!"
No, you said before that he was doing something creepy in the hallway.
Yeah, he was walking creepy like a creep. And I was like, stop. So then he was like, went back, turned off the light, came back and did the bah scare. And I screamed so loud, I can't believe I didn't wake up all the kids. He laughed so hard, he cried. And then I laughed because he was crying. So I'm like, Adam. And then he was like, it was
funny.
the biggest jump scare he's ever done on me ever. And I just was so mad. I'm like, ugh. And my heart rate was through the roof. I'm
Okay,
like,
next question.
Oh,
Go
that's
ahead.
crazy. Okay, favorite childhood memory with us.
I don't know why, but Purple Tote Woman came into my head.
There was a giant purple tote that we had.
like a laundry basket, and she turned it over and put on purple panties and stood on top like, I am Purple Tote Woman. I don't know why that just occurred to me. Or Beanie Baby fights when we'd chunk them at each other really hard.
The worm. That was
Yeah,
so
Mom would be so ashamed.
One fashion trend you'll never try.
Let's see, so many fanny packs. I'll never try again. Is that what you said? Fanny packs, tie-dyed shirts, matching my tops to my bottoms, like really matching.
Was that ever a trend?
Yeah, no, it
Like
wasn't.
matching
Mom
sets.
took me to go buy new clothes. Wait, I have a better one. Going into Supercuts and saying, whatever you think looks good. I will never try that again. That was my boy haircut. Thank you, 8th grade graduation.
Okay, mountains or beach? Neither. Lindsay says, I only want a mountain of a roller coaster.
Right?
I would say mountains because
Space
every time I
mountain.
see them, I'm like, whoa, mountains. but because I'm not really a sand person, but I am at the beach more. So beach.
But if it's a resort,
But
then you
yeah,
like
beach.
it more.
would you be like mountains, expedition Everest? Like,
no.
She would not.
No. I like to look at them.
okay. So let's see. Let's see. What is a song that instantly puts you in a good mood?
I don't remember that question.
It was on there, I promise.
Anything with Sarah Bareilles.
Okay. What's the craziest thing that happened to you this week?
The thing with Adam.
Okay. If you could relive one year of your life, which one could it be?
The one where I met and fell in love with Adam.
Oh, good answer, because I didn't say that answer. And Courtney was like, yeah, before Ben. Good job. Okay. Now. Okay.
Hear
Yeah,
that?
I totally relived
I
that.
was the funniest part of the rapid fire.
You are the
100%.
funniest part, yes.
Trying to be quiet.
Okay, so let's see. Book or show you're obsessed with right now.
We just have been watching movies. We take turns picking like marathons, and I picked Twilight last time. And it was funny to watch Adam watch Twilight.
What's one word your kids would use to describe you?
Hormonal.
Okay, and dream travel
Good
destination.
vocabulary.
Can Caleb say hormonal?
No.
Crazy.
No.
Good vocabulary.
I don't know how they would describe me. Probably like,
Emotional.
okay. No, I would say that. What was the next one?
Dream travel destination.
I want to go to like the out of country Disney places, like Paris, Shanghai, Disneyland, all those
Tokyo.
cool. Yes,
Love
I
it.
those.
Hidden talent or guilty pleasure?
Y'all just told me that hidden talent that people probably don't know is making birthday cakes.
We didn't say that.
They
did.
said I was really good at making.
Y'all just told me, okay. I'm not coming up with this on my own.
No, I didn't even think about it.
She is
she
so
does.
good at baking.
So talented.
She is amazing. She does
It's
the
gotten
best.
better over the years, and I have a very limited ability, but I use a heck out of it.
People don't know how
And
good
not
she
only
is.
do
And
they
I
look
like it.
pretty, they
Right?
taste
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah. That's important.
They
They
look
do.
pretty and
so
taste
I
amazing.
love it. It's really fun. I like to do it.
Okay, so we are today talking about the everyday kind of thankful. And so we're in the first week of November. This is going into thankful season. And I really wanted to do this episode this week so that we can have time to like kind of sit in gratitude for the next few weeks. I feel like a lot of times with the holiday of Thanksgiving, it just gets bypassed.
Yeah, quickly.
Except for planning for the meal because we just want to get to Christmas because it's the fun part. But there's so much benefit to living a life of gratitude. So the first question we have is what does gratitude mean to you and how does it show up in your life? So I'd like to share with you a quote that I found. It is from a guru out of India, and I can't pronounce his name, but I'll put it in the show notes, okay? Most people wake up every morning counting what they don't have, and then they wonder why life keeps giving them more of what's missing. Gratitude is not a thank you note to the universe. It's a frequency of abundance. The problem is not that life is not giving. It's that we've forgotten how to receive.
This goes into what I answered actually. So there was
That's amazing.
Thank you.
So there was a time when I just kept saying, I'm in survival mode. I'm in survival mode. Hey, Courtney, how are you doing? I'm surviving. Yeah, I'm just surviving. And that comes with every hard season. But I decided that I wanted to, Megan, you kind of did something like this too. I wanted to stop saying survive. And I said, okay, why don't I try to change that word every time I want to say that word to thrive? Because it's really similar, but it's like, and every time they were like, how are you doing? I'm like, I'm thriving. You know, then I'm like, then my whole frequency was just elevated. It was so cool. And I remember Megan, you do that a lot. Actually, you're like, I'm not saying that I'm crazy. Like, we're not saying that things are crazy. So
It's full.
yeah, it's full. Like it means a lot. Like the words you use to describe things and people and circumstances, like it makes a difference on how you feel about it.
Totally.
So
I like that. I'm going to start using that.
Changes the way you see it. One thing that I wanted to talk about before we shift gears, though, is that there is, like you said, gratitude is a frequency. And what we mean by that, it's a different energy level. Like all energy has different levels. And gratitude is on the same frequency as joy and love. And all of these things, if you live your life at that higher frequency, then you are going to have more abundance. You're going to have more energy. The lower energies are the ones that like suck energy from you. These are the ones that give you more. So I found a quote that says, studies have found that practicing gratitude can improve our mood, increase happiness levels, reduce stress, and enhance overall psychological health. When we focus on the blessings in our lives and appreciate what we have, we shift our energy towards positivity and attract more positive experiences, which I thought was part of the point for why we choose to have an attitude of gratitude.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, I have something to share with that real quick. So I think it was like a couple of weeks ago or this past week. It was like the end of the day. I was putting the kids to bed, and Jade, like, she had a few things that happened that day that caused her to have a bad day. But that day, like, we had done like a ton of fun things. There were just like a few things that made her have a bad day. And so I was tucking her into bed, and she was like, Mom, why do we have to have bad days? She was like, today was just a bad day. And I was like, well, Jade, I was like, let's stop and let's count our blessings. Like, let's count all of the things that were good about today. And so that just kind of helped me reflect too. Like, how often do I say, oh, today's a bad day, and I don't stop to count my blessings or think about all the things that went right that day? And I think it's so true. Like, we can choose whether or not, you know, today's a good day or today's a bad day. We can choose to look on the things that are going good for us and not let the things that maybe aren't going, you know, the way we want them to go, bring us down and make that our whole, like, I don't know, like, put all of our energy into like the things that are going wrong.
I think it's interesting when that guru said, we have forgotten how to receive. And I think gratitude is like anything you're given. When you have something given to you, you choose how you're going to take it. Like, is this a gift I want? Is this a gift I don't want?
Yeah.
And the attitude of that totally affects the whole experience of the gift giving and the receiving process. So if we think of gratitude like that,
Yeah.
What's amazing to me is like the more you're on that frequency and the more you're trying to stay there, you can recognize when like you're in a scarcity mindset. When you're scared and when you're anxious and when you're feeling like something is, you know, something bad's going to happen, or I don't have enough, or like, you know, whatever, then you can really feel it, because you're like, and then you just kind of like reset yourself. Like, okay, like I was going to say this later, but sometimes I have to literally say, do I have a roof over my head? Is there food in the cupboards?
Yep.
Are my children starving? Are the bills paid for this month? Are things okay right now? And that helps me, like, what do we have? And we're doing okay. Like, we can, you don't have to be scared. You don't have to be in a, you know, that's how I reset myself, is just thinking about like,
Yeah.
oh my gosh, we don't have enough time. We don't have enough money. We don't have enough to do whatever. And then I think we have our needs all taken care of. And we have, that's something to be grateful for. And
it's almost like in this moment, we have enough.
yeah.
And then some. So we can't put ourselves in that place. Like, you choosing to live in a state of gratitude can be so good, because you're not going to be living in a state of fear. If you think about it, you can be grateful for the smallest things. And maybe you don't have a lot or as much as you wanted, but you can sure as heck paint a picture for your family so your kids never know that they don't have enough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We didn't growing up. Mom and Dad did great at that. Christmases were awesome. We had no clue.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know I've had times too where, like, I'm having a bad day, or maybe I'm like in a bad mood, and then randomly, like, the hymn, the Count Your Blessings, comes up in my head, and I'm just like,
Right?
okay,
I know I
I
need
guess I should count my blessings.
Yeah. I think thankfulness and abundance are the same thing to me. And I feel like the last probably 5 years, Adam and I have both really intentionally worked on abundance and gratitude. And to me, when I thought about this, it made me think about, how are we stewards over what we have? So we've been really focusing on this the last several years, because we're like, okay, even though it's not what we want, even though we're not as successful as we want or as we thought we'd be or whatever the case may be, let's be really good stewards over what we have. And so we've made this intentional effort to be really careful with every penny. And I don't mean like scarcity careful. I mean, everything has a name and everything is done with intention, and we have an abundant mindset, and we do the things that we feel like we want to do when we're wealthy. We do those things now that we're able to do. And so being a good steward over your money, your time, I mean, everything that you're doing, time with your kids, I think it's so important to be intentional. And that is where the difference will come if we really are careful and intentional about our mindset, like you were talking about, and what we tell ourselves. That's all the same frequency, and it takes a lot of practice, but if you can practice it and catch yourself and have people around you that catch you too. You guys have said it to me before, like, stop saying that. And we've done that for each other. Like, okay, you're right. I have this tape recorder in my head that I didn't realize I was saying. Mine has been, I'm too old. I'm too old to be pregnant right now. I'm too old. And I'm like, stop. You're not. You're exactly where you're meant to be. Does the picture for your life look different than what you thought? And the answer to that is a resounding yes. Right?
Yeah.
But are you exactly where you're meant to be? And I feel like absolutely. Everything has been leading to this in each of our lives, and it's all for a purpose. So if we can remember that and remember that we're doing exactly where we are right now for a reason, I think it makes a huge difference.
And I think this is a perfect time to talk about this because especially with Christmas coming up and you see everybody posting like what they got for Christmas or shopping for, my haul for Black Friday and all that stuff. And, you also see the other side of things where people are struggling right now to, even put food on the table or have a Thanksgiving meal. And so I think it's really important that we're talking about this and to remember to be thankful for what we have.
And if you are thankful if you're in that space of gratitude, and if you're thankful for what you have, then you're able to give to other people. But if you have a scarcity mindset and you're like so worried and concerned about like what's coming and what's happening to you, there's no way you can see serving other people. And so I think that's really important too right now. I love that you said that, Evie, because right now there's so many people hurting and grocery prices just keep climbing. Like, what are we doing to look outside of ourselves? So for me, service gets me out of my own head and gets me out of thinking about where I am in my life. Serving other people and helping those that don't have as much, I think, is a huge deal.
I love it. All right. What's one thing you learned to thank God for after the fact? So like later gratitude. Anybody have one?
I always try to, Josh and I, we both try to teach our kids to always say thank you for their prayers being answered. And so like, I remember, sometimes we've talked about this before, like you teach your kids stuff, but you're not really sure if it's sticking. Well, a couple of months ago, I think Jade got out from taking a shower and then she got herself ready and she came downstairs and she goes, Mom, I think like her stomach was hurting or something. She was like, my stomach ache is gone. I go, oh, that's great, Jade. And she goes, I said a prayer in the shower and I prayed that, that my stomach ache would go away. I said, that's great. I was like, what we have to do now, right? And she was like, yeah, we have to say thank you.
That's awesome.
I'm so glad they have you as a mom. They're so lucky.
It is good.
Thank you.
Well, and it's so important to teach them in those moments. Like sometimes they need to remember why it happened and to remember.
Yeah.
So I love that you did that. I feel like this one, when you're talking about after the fact, I feel like sometimes, I know, Megan, you talked about like remembering, like being in the midst of trials and like remembering afterwards. I feel like that was my pattern my whole life, that after a trial, I would be like, oh, that was something really hard. That was a trial. What did I learn? And it was when I was in college and I broke my arm on a slip and slide and broke it in 6 places. I was sitting there like waiting for surgery that was going to happen like the next day. I had this overwhelming feeling for the first time ever. This is the trial that you're supposed to go through right now. And I remember being like, whoa, I've never had that happen during a trial. I usually am like, oh, that was a hard thing. And I remember being like, okay, it completely reframed how I thought about it and made it okay. Like all of a sudden I was like, okay, this was supposed to happen. So do I need to be sobbing and upset that I have to go home now from college from all these friends I met? No, because I'm supposed to go through this. So then when rehab took so long and after 2 years it still wasn't healed, I'm like, I'm supposed to go through this. This is what's supposed to happen. Even though it was really, really hard, I'm like, how am I going to live? Am I going to stop being myself? Am I going to stop reaching out to other people? I did stupid stuff like go to Hurricane Katrina with an arm that was broken.
She did do that.
So
I told her
dumb.
not to.
Like as a parent now, I'd be like, that is so stupid. My parents were like, don't do that. I'm like,
Well,
that
she was so funny. I remember looking at you and you're like, I've got to go help. There was a hurricane and they need me. And I was like, Lindsay. And she goes, I will never have this chance again. And I was
didn't
like,
say that.
I'm pretty sure there's natural disasters like all the time.
Whatever.
Katrina, they're on K. They got a whole alphabet. Okay.
Right? But it was a really cool experience that I will remember forever to be there and to do that. And so going through that experience, I'm like, I'm going to give everything that I can during this trial. And I'm going to try to have a good attitude throughout the whole thing, even when it's hard. And that changed everything for me. So now when scary things happen, I'm like, okay, what are we supposed to learn from this? And let me learn it really fast so this can get over faster. But it changes the way that when you're in the middle of it, instead of afterwards being like, that was a hurricane and that was really scary. Now, what was the lesson? And so that to me has changed everything during the trials, you know.
Yeah.
When Jared and I first got married, we weren't one big happy family all the time. Surprise. He was an Insta dad and we had a 1 and 3 year old and we were newlyweds. And as I was thinking about this question, I was like, I really hated the way that he was connecting with the kids. Like it drove me crazy. And I spent like, I don't know how long, just kind of like trying to butt in and like try to make it the way I wanted it to be, their relationship. And he finally looked at me and he was just like, this is my relationship with them. And you need to trust me that I know what I'm doing. And what I wasn't seeing, I was only seeing the things that I saw around everybody. I wasn't seeing the small things that were just one-on-one with them. And that's when he would connect with them and of course never tell me about it.
Yeah.
And they would be like, yeah, Mom, Dad told me about this and we got to do this together and we got to blah, blah, blah. And I was like, I had to trust that God knew better than me and that he loves them more than I love them. And he's got this. And I had to step back so God could step in to this relationship situation. And now like I'm blown away by the relationships that he has with them. And I'm so grateful I didn't try to make it what I wanted it to be because that would have created so much resentment with him and no trust. And it would have been forced. And like just being able to step back and just say, okay, like, and I remember telling the kids, like, he's learning how to be a dad. Like, he's not used to little kids. And I would tell him, like, they're learning how to have a stepdad. Like, they don't know. And a lot of times when you're in a blended family, like, some people want to have their cake and eat it too. So they're like, okay, whenever I need help, that's when I want the step parent to step in. But otherwise, they're my kids and it's my choices of how I do whatever with them. And that works for some people. I feel like it's disconnecting as a family unit. I always felt like it's all or nothing because I'm just an all or nothing person. And so I'm like, okay, I would have to ask myself when we first got married, like, would their biological dad do this? Would their biological dad act like this? Would he discipline them in this way? Or, like I would have to be like, I would have to kind of normalize it because they called him daddy. Like I let Atticus, he called him daddy. He was a year old. And I just let it happen, and it was just natural and normal. And so they did that forever. And it was like, I had to let him learn how to be a parent. And that's really hard to do. So, but I was grateful that I did.
I think that's great. Okay, so how can intentional gratitude change the atmosphere of your home? Courtney, that was a really great example of that.
A lot.
It can change it a
It
lot.
can, because you get to decide whether or not you're going to have a good day or a bad day, if you're going to be in a good mood or a bad mood. I try to remind myself of that a lot. I'm like, oh, I'm such a bad mood. Wait, that's my choice to be in a bad mood. Like, I can change it around, and then that helps me to be a better mom. And I realize, I'm not yelling as much, or I'm not saying like, quit bothering me, I'm trying to get this done. And I don't know, I just think it's your choice.
Well, and as a mom, you are the center of the home, whether we like it or not. Everything that we do reflects on everybody. So if we're mad, everybody, like, the intensity just goes higher and higher. It's like, we just can't. We have to make sure to do that. And I think also, like, teaching your kids gratitude, I think, is really important. I lately have been trying to find instances that my kids are doing good without being told. And I think that are the things that I celebrate the most. So I'm very grateful when they do what I ask. But when they do something without being told, I try to celebrate it a lot and show them how grateful I am and what it does for our home. And all of a sudden I'm like, oh, that's funny. It's like, don't water the weeds. But when you water the flowers and the good things, you just see more and more of the flowers. And it has made a big difference in our home. Now, all of a sudden, I'm like, my kids are just meeting our needs, my husband's needs, each other's. And I'm like, okay, this is really cool that we've started this trend in our family now of doing that. And it's been really helpful because, like, Kennedy thinks it's really fun. She got really upset today because she was in the middle of doing something that I asked her to do, but she was doing something extra that I didn't know. And she doesn't want to tell us, but she was like, tries to do it with that, like, while surprising us. I needed something quickly because her brother was screaming. She was like, so she, like, lost it because she's like, I was trying to do something extra nice. And I'm like, that's so great, but your brother's screaming. I needed that thing now, and to watch her heart break. But those things are so cool because she was trying to do something above and beyond and surprise us and delight us and help the family. And that is another thing that we've been saying lately. Like, what have you done to help the family today? Hey, Austin, what have you done to help the family today? He's like, I got all my chores done. I'm like, what have you done to help the family as a unit? And so that's been really fun lately of like, okay, what can I do to help mom or dad or my sister? And it has made a big difference. So I think it's going to be intentionally talking about that. And now my next step now is I need to show them gratitude and talk about it as a family and tell them that I've noticed it in them even more. And I think it's just going to multiply.
I love that. I think the other siblings, like, see you, like, recognizing that, and then they want to do it.
Yeah.
I think it's good. I have a child that I'm struggling with right now because they're just at a hard age. And I've thought to myself, like, they're the kind of person that it's like...
And a big personality.
And it's just, they don't obey, then they get in trouble, and then the cycle is like, I'm not going to listen, they don't listen, and they, it's just, then they get on themselves, like, I'm not a good part of this family, like, I don't belong, like, everybody else is loved but me, because that's what your brain will try and tell yourself.
It's a crazy chick.
Yeah, and so I have decided that, like, usually in November, I always try to be like, this is what I'm grateful for today. And we have a thankful tree we'll put up.
Oh, I like that.
And just, like, write on little leaves or whatever. Sometimes that thankful tree's up, like, 2 days before Thanksgiving. But
It's true.
I'm
No
like, this
judgment.
year I'm going to be intentional about putting it up so that we can practice gratitude. And for my own self, I felt when I was thinking about that gratitude journal and the thankful tree that I want to I have a couple of journals next to my bed for my kids that I write down stuff that they do that I think is cute. And I'm like, I'm going to take that journal for this child and just make it like, today I saw good when. And that way, next time he's like, I'm not doing good enough. I'm not good enough. I can't. Like, I want to say, here's a book of evidence of when you did.
And I think it's good for you too. When you're going to be looking for the good, it's going to help you so much too.
Yep. So
I think prayer is a really powerful way to show gratitude. whenever it just changes it softens hearts. It changes the whole vibe of the house. Like whenever we're fighting and, just at each other, I'll just be like, and it's kind of cliche to be like, "Rah, rah, 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 rah. Let's pray. Let us pray. I'll be like, y'all, we need to pray because we need Jesus. I'll be like, right now. And they're like, yeah, we do. We need Jesus bad right now. Yeah. So that's how we prompt praying. And then it's like anytime Jared and I are feeling disconnected, like if we say a prayer, automatically we can't like be mad at each other because I mean, it's almost like the anger wall comes down and like the hurt starts, the vulnerability, it starts to show. Yeah. And that's where you can heal. Like when that starts happening, that's when you heal.
Totally.
Yeah. So
I love that.
I feel like one of the things that our parents did really good when we were growing up was when we would say family prayer at night, they would talk about each of us individually. Do y'all remember that? And because words of affirmation is my love language, I remember just like soaking it in and being like so proud that they saw those things in me. And I feel like in letting your kids hear you talk about them, like right out of earshot, like they can hear you, but they're not in the same room, or you're talking. We try to do that all the time, Adam and I. Like I'll talk about one of the kids and I know they're around the corner and can hear me, but just talking about how great they were and what happened. I think doing that with your kids listening, saying family prayer and mentioning things that they've done, I just remember that feeling of like total pride and being like, I am awesome. And they see me. And as a parent, I think we forget that sometimes they just don't feel seen because we're busy and we're going from thing to thing. And feeling seen in that moment, I just remember was really powerful. So I think I'm going to work on that this month.
it's cool whenever you say, hey, whenever whoever's turn it is to pray, when you're like, make sure you pray for everybody. Mm-hmm. And then they're like, oh. And then when they hear their siblings praying, I'm sure it's powerful in your house when they're older too.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I can't wait for my kids to be older.
I found a great quote that I loved. It says, the grateful man sees so much in the world to be thankful for, and with him the good outweighs the evil. So by focusing on what we're grateful for, we can't change the world, but gratitude can help us create a safe haven for our families. And if that's what you're surrounded by and that's what you're looking for, then I think that that is going to be an amazing gift that you give to the people that are in your home.
Mm-hmm. Love it.
I want to end with our reflection question for this week, and it is, what would a daily gratitude reset look like for you this month? So as you're going about, you're busy, things are getting kicked up between the Burr months, October, coming off of Halloween last week and jumping into November, December. What would a gratitude reset look like? And how can you implement that in your homes? And until next time,
keep striving. We'll see y'all soon.
Now it's time for the
bloopers.
We are going to do the what's it called?
Get to know a sister.
Get to know a
rapid
sister.
fire.
Rapid fire.
Not so rapid fire.
Wow, this is terrible. What did we call it?
It was rapid fire something.
Ask a sister. Nope, that's not it.
Hold on, let me get my notes out.
Did I name it anything? 20 questions.
Last time you
it's
did.
Just 20 questions.
You named it
Something cute. Chat. What did we do?
Sister 20 questions. That's all you wrote.
What does that look like?
Did you change the questions?
I did change that question.
Shoot.
That does not look familiar at all.
It's like, wait, I got the wrong thing.
What does the other one say?
When has gratitude shifted your attitude in a tough season?
Okay. Do we want to do that one?
No, just go into the quote because that question was hard because we had to prepare.
Wait.
No, I have it.
The one you, yeah. No, just
The
go.
question
Keep
I
going.
just did?
No, just keep going.
Okay. Anybody else have anything they're thankful for, but they're just saying they're thankful for it?
Oh, I mean, I'm sure there is, but
I'm like, divorce.
Oh, God.
Every day. Thank you, God. That's why it's hard. I can't get past sometimes. I'm like,
Right.
I know, right?